Sarah's Screed does not merit a full public reading. However, there is public interest and there is the potential for educational value. So I will address her August 26th letter. Instead of reading it to you word for word, because I don't want to participate in what she's doing, I will give you the gist of what she's saying and we'll talk about that. I'll include a link in the description so you can look it up yourself. I'll also put the words on the screen. Boone says she learned of Bankowitz's withdrawal request via a reporter. She's not happy about that, and she had some nasty words for Bankowitz. We've talked about this before. When someone stabs you in the back, you might tell them to knock it off and give them another chance. When they keep doing it, do you really think you owe them a discussion about it? Someone who doesn't respect you isn't going to take to heart anything you say anyway. A discussion would simply be an opportunity for them to gather ammunition to use to manipulate you. All you'd be doing is handing them a new tray of knives. Boone did receive notice of the withdrawal motion, by the way. She may have heard it first from this reporter, but she did receive it. According to what she says in the second paragraph, it looks like this court TV reporter got in for a visit under false pretenses. But I don't know what did or did not occur with that. She has some nasty words for him too, and suggests he's not a real reporter. For the record, Matt Johnson is a real reporter. In fact, he's an award-winning journalist with plenty of experience in his field. But this is Sarah Boone's world. If you don't agree with her and do precisely what she wants, when she wants, then you're nothing. She is the expert in all things. In paragraph 3, she says she's glad Bankowitz is withdrawing. But in saying that, she uses her usual derogatory language, flinging arrows. She claims that other attorneys have implied he's bad. I think she should have to name those attorneys and let them confirm or deny. I had an instructor in report writing class whose mantra was, "He who alleges must prove." It's easy to fling mud. Proof is another thing entirely. This is one of the reasons why an actual trial will be so hard for her. She will be confronted with facts and evidence, and her juvenile games won't fly. There's a saying, throw enough shit at the barn door and some of it's gonna stick. That's a fancy way of saying what marketing researchers know about the effects of repetition. And by the way, why is she talking to all of these other attorneys since having Bankowitz? Listen to this phrase. There are many other professional and scrupulous, valiant attorneys still available. Note the use of the word valiant. Sarah is still waiting for Superman to swoop in and rescue her. And yes, there are good attorneys out there. Sarah's trouble is that it's only the ones she can't have that are any good. Because as soon as anyone is in relationship with her, they are bound to fail. People can't live up to fantasy in another person's head. Have you ever dealt with someone who loves the idea of you that they have in their head, but not you? She's not going to like the next guy. Whether or not she writes letters about the next one remains to be seen, considering the judge warned her.
Now, Ms. Boone, in just a minute, they're going to take you back to the Orange County Jail. I'm going to suggest that you talk to Mr. Hobson about the various other issues you raised in your letter dated August 30th, 2023. One other thing I want to talk to you about, we had this conversation once in the past. Clearly, your working relationship with Mr. Bankwitz was such that it deteriorated to the point where the two of y'all just couldn't work together to defend your case. So I'm not going to try to referee how that played out, why that unfolded the way it did. But one thing I want to caution you about, if this becomes a problem on another court-appointed attorney, I'm going to look more closely at what the alleged disputes are. You have a right to a court-appointed lawyer. There are certain decisions a defendant gets to make in the defense of their case that are absolutely theirs, such as whether they go to trial or not. such as whether they testify or not. But there are many decisions in a case that a lawyer gets to make. And while you certainly have a right to consult with your lawyer and discuss with your lawyer, they don't automatically just do whatever you say. They use their professional judgment and experience and look at the evidence, look at the law, and do the best they can. Also, you've got court-appointed counsel. As I've explained to you before, court-appointed counsel rarely have the luxury of representing one person and only having one case to focus on. I have concerns that your expectations of what any court-appointed counsel might do as far as spending time with you and the depth and degree of communication may be unrealistic expectations. You always have the right to retain a lawyer to represent you, and then that's between you and that lawyer. You can demand whatever expectations that you have as part of that agreement. But when it's a court-appointed lawyer, you have to accept and understand that they have other cases, other courtrooms, other responsibilities. And I'm cognizant of that when I'm addressing these types of issues about communication. So that's just food for thought, nothing to do today. I don't need a response from you. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that and were thinking about that as we proceeded forward.
Thank you, Judge.
I think she can't help herself, though.
I'm not able to say anything.
Especially when she's feeling anxious or angry or isn't getting enough attention. We shall see. She utters some snark about the judge here, like he's blind and careless and uncaring. Speaking of caring, I'd like to mention here that Mr. Torres's family matters. They suffered a loss that cannot be restored. Here she suggests perhaps Wooten shouldn't be the judge on her case anymore. She goes on with her screed, flinging more crap, serious accusations, which are all BS. And I'm not going to help her throw it at the barn door by reading it out loud. The bottom line here is everybody is bad, and Sarah is the victim. Then she says, "Aren't you tired of getting my letters? Listen here, pal, you do what I want or I'm gonna keep tormenting you." This woman is mean. More screed about the judge, the system, Bankowitz, the public, that means you and me. More of everybody is evil and Sarah is the poor, innocent hero victim. And it's all so unfair. You know what's unfair? Mr. Torres's mother losing her son. You know what was awful? Mr. Torres begging for his life and Sarah laughing at him.
Stupid.
She complains that the judge says he has other priorities. How dare he, eh? She asks him to grant Bankowitz's motion to withdraw. She lectures the judge. She says maybe if the next attorney is good, Wooten will get fewer letters. This is who she is. Things must go my way or I'll cause problems and hurt you if I can. She accuses the judge of being condescending. Well, that's rich coming from the queen of condescension. She tells Wooten that Bankowitz can stop the self-sabotage. Oh my gosh, project much? Blah, blah, blah about her truth. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. I can't wait to meet the bullseye, she writes. She's still waiting for Superman. It's kind of sad, isn't it? If she wasn't so mean to people, I'd feel sorry for her. She signs off with audacious gratitude. Interesting choice of words here. Considering it has more than one meaning, I wonder which one she intended. We all know there is no gratitude within her to exude. Before I sign off, one of my subscribers asked me to point out something about Sarah's story at the scene. Sarah said when she woke up, she stayed in her room for quite some time. The person who commented, who is a smoker, said that smokers go get that morning smoke right away. So she didn't believe Sarah stayed in her room for a long time. Just something to think about to add to the list of inconsistencies. See you next time. Thank you for listening.